Got it. Hello, everybody, and welcome to hashtag Verse TV week 130. I'm Aaron Mack, and I'm here with some good friends who will introduce themselves. And let's start off with Jasmine. Yep, introduce yourself, Jasmine, and say your name as well.
Hey guys, Jasmine from Houston, Texas, and we're here with Varsity TV.
All
Varsity
right.
TV.
And Chrissy.
Hi, everyone. This is Chrissy from Cleveland, Ohio with hashtag Verse TV.
Excellent. All right. So let's get this show on the road. And our first topic up is, it's coming up, it's loading. It takes a second, and then it comes to me like an epiphany. Remember that song?
Yeah.
I know. Okay, so the first topic is called The Quote, and it's coming from reddit.com and Instagram. And the quote is, quote, "Our culture has accepted two huge lies. The first is that if you disagree with someone's lifestyle, you must fear or hate them. The second is that to love someone means you agree with everything they believe or do. Everything they believe, say, or do." Wow, sorry. Okay. Now, Aaron Mack will not name the person who referenced as saying this quote without seeing the words come from his mouth, but that's beside the point. For the queer community who was being referenced, accepting this quote feels like a slippery slope, okay? Now, our request is simply to let genuine, consensual love be love. It's not your place to agree or disagree. Now, but maybe that perspective is a good start for those who are anti-LGBT. Why and why not? So I will actually go ahead and start off with the answer just to sort of give my perspective and the origin of where this question is coming, from where this question is coming. So as I was reading the quote, and I've read it a few times, a few days, and I was like, that's just really horrible. And that's a really slippery slope to get to accept that, well, you know, it's not, it's we can disagree and still, let me say it exactly the way he said it. You don't have to agree with someone's lifestyle, right? I can disagree about your lifestyle, but that doesn't mean that I hate you. And it's like, but is it your place to even agree or disagree with somebody else's lifestyle? I'm not asking you to agree or disagree with the fact that I am attracted to men. You know, that's not your place. And also, the second part, to love someone means you must agree to everything they believe, say, or do. Honestly, that kind of feels like rhetoric that I've heard coming from other places, that it's like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna say what I've heard, people who say, love the sinner, hate the sin. And it's like, but is that even love? And that's how I felt about it first. But then I thought about the other side, and that's where the question really came from. What if feeling that way is actually a good start for people who are extremely like anti-LGBT or anti-anything, to start to be like, well, I disagree with your lifestyle choice, but I can still get along with you. And I'm like, well, maybe that's better than those that are like, because I disagree with you, I have to kill you. Because there are some people who think that way, and that's horrible. And
Yeah.
I will pick the order. Next will be Chrissy.
Okay, so Aaron, I just want to say that the next part of that statement says both are nonsense. Both parts of the two things are nonsense. I totally agree with that, which is what you kind of said, kind of summed up. But so our culture has accepted two lies. The first is that if you disagree with someone's lifestyle, you must fear or hate them. The second is that to love someone means you agree with everything they believe, say, or do. Both are nonsense. You don't have to compromise convictions to be compassionate. I do agree that both statements are nonsense. And I do believe that you don't have to compromise convictions to be compassionate. And you're right, as far as agreeing or disagreeing with something that why, you're right. Somebody else's lifestyle is, first of all, none of your business. None of your business. So what? You don't have to agree or disagree, and who cares if you do or don't? Who cares?
Not your place.
Right, exactly. It's not. And if it's not your vibration, if not what you vibe, that's okay. You don't have to word it like, oh, I don't agree with this, I disagree with that. No, you don't live that way. So because you don't, why do you have an opinion about the way someone else is living? You don't, that's not your place to have an opinion just because you live a certain type of way. If someone else, if the person you disagree with or agree with or whatever doesn't live the same type of way you do, would you care? No. Is it going to make you happy? Is it going to pay your bills? Is it going to create anything that you want at all? Like we're talking about reality here. We all have to coexist with people who live different lifestyles. Period. You don't have to agree or disagree. You don't have to assert your opinion about their lifestyle or assert the fact that you agree or disagree. All you have to do is just live and love. Let it be. That's it. If you have, like, why are you spending any of your time and energy on things that you have no control over and you're not going to have control over? Like, that's just a waste of everything. Waste of time, waste of energy, waste of love. You could be doing positive stuff to like improve your own life instead of being fixated on what you agree or disagree with somebody else and what they're doing that's making them smile and making them happy. Like, I do agree with the statement that both are nonsense. They're both nonsense. And you don't have to compromise your convictions about certain ways of living, lifestyles, or whatever, or certain decisions in life that you make to be compassionate toward other humans. Period. That's my answer.
All right, now, Jasmine.
Yes.
And
What
your
was
answer?
Again?
I'm sorry.
I think it's, oops, sorry. I'm sorry, I dropped my phone. I was gonna say, I think, yeah, you can just live the way you want. Everybody's gonna disagree with something like that and a lot of things in life. So I think from what I've seen, you just gonna have to just accept it. Some things, I mean, not everything, but most things, you're just gonna just have to accept everybody when it comes down to someone's choice to how they're gonna do something.
Right.
Someone's
Like
choice to live their truth. Right.
Like what value does it add or
Yeah,
take away for you to
that-
like force your opinion about what someone else is doing? It definitely takes away value, I think. Out of your own life and out of the life of that person that you're like who cares? That's just negative. It's negative energy. Negative.
Mhm.
All right. So the next topic is slow slip. And this is the homo's backstory. And we'll turn off the live after it's read. Now, the homo's backstory is coming from DailyMail.co.uk. Now, this grown man beat up an 11-year-old girl in a public park with onlookers, and he still gets a full humanizing backstory with smiling glam photos, information about his volunteer work, and the breed of his dog. Now, not all criminals get these humanizing backstories with their crime when they're reported in the news. Now, I have two questions. Under what conditions should such criminals be given backstories in the news, or should no one ever get a backstory in the news? Now, I don't have to go first with this one. If somebody wants to go first, I can go after. Chrissy, it's on you, sister.
First of all, that backstory just made the fact that what he did way worse than anything. Like you're supposed to be a stand-up type of. This backstory was created for what? To make you look a certain type of way, to create an illusion that you totally don't even live up to. If you're putting your hands on a child, you put your hands on somebody's child, bruh. Like what? You put your hands on one of mine? You getting world starred, doggone it, and dragged. And I'm not gonna be concerned about how I look at all. I don't care what you know about my past. Like, okay, if like who does, like, I know the backstory of a person. It's important for certain things, I think, but that backstory did not make anything better for what he did for that situation at all. It just made it worse. Like, bro, you got sense. Why would you do that? Why? To someone's child.
Yeah, it was nonsense.
Yeah, that's violent and nonsense. Like, that's my opinion about that.
Oh, okay. And I'll add to that. Like, even, see, in the write-up of the article, it was, they were talking about this man, and they said the number 11, and then they had a comma, and then they had in, dot, 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 and, well, let me actually read the flippant title of the article. And it's gonna take a second, so I won't, never mind. But still, I feel that if they're going to, well, I guess we're live for everything. Sorry, I forgot to turn off the live. But they made it look so like the title of the article didn't even include the fact that it was an 11-year-old girl. It didn't include year old. It just included the number 11 followed by a comma and the word in. And sorry, but as a homosexual man, when I saw 11 in, I was like, what in the world are they talking about on this article? 11 inches? What? But it didn't make any, it was obvious that they were trying to hide the severity of the fact that this grown man beat up an 11-year-old girl. Now, to answer the question about when should we do backstories, when shouldn't we do backstories, I almost feel, because I get it. News wants to be entertaining. They want people to read.
They want to evoke sympathy and all other types of emotions to make people judge some type of way. That's just my opinion about that.
You're right, and that's what it's doing, and that's the point.
That's why I don't watch TV.
I'm sorry?
I said that's why I don't watch TV. I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, you're fine, and believe it or not, you're not the only one, but that's another story. I was just talking with somebody at work about that. Mm-hmm. But it's maybe like, I don't know. I wanted to say, and this is where the not fully having an answer comes in, because part of me wanted to say, well, maybe it depends on the severity of the crime. But to say it depends on the severity of the crime, and if somebody's done a heinous crime, they get no backstory in the news. When it comes to saying it depends on the severity, that is definitely a subjective thing. You know, like it's not like people can count, say this is a 3 severity, this is an 8 severity. No, it's kind of up to what you think. And chances are the person who wrote the article felt that what this horrible criminal did, in their perspective, was that the severity was so low that I don't even really have to, I don't even have to put in the headlines that he beat up an 11-year-old girl. But anyway, Jasmine?
Yeah, I think it's bad that he did that and nobody came to her rescue. No one was around.
Yeah, onlookers. Nobody.
Yeah, he's gonna go away. I don't know what he's gonna get. Where was they, in America?
Yeah, that was right in New York.
Oh, yeah, everywhere that something happens, I mean, usually somebody somewhere has some thinking like, hey, you're doing that to this person, I'm gonna go help. But I know not everybody is like that. People who are, for whatever reason, they do whatever the general, thinking that, you're doing this to this person, this girl, Ole, whatever, and they're gonna help. But some, like, even if you want to help somebody that's maybe they can not really defend themselves, or can, but you might like want to think about it, like everybody, like before you just jump in, because sometimes if someone might have the weapon, they could hurt you, just like the one that they're trying to intrude on or something.
Well, he had a weapon. The fact that he was a grown man going against this 11-year-old girl. But anyway, sorry.
Can I just address? Go ahead.
Yeah, that's crazy. What did she do? It's okay, y'all. No, yeah, I think, yeah, that's bad. They're probably gonna, I don't know, do something with him like they're gonna do to R. Kelly. I don't know because
No, he
that's
had
what
his
they
court
do.
date and he walked out. He walked out a free man. So no, nothing was done.
Oh,
Can
oh
I
no,
just
maybe
address
the parents.
the elephant in the room real quick? I mean, I think this whole thing was like, that backstory was created because he is a white man. That's just what it is. Like, come on, call a spade a spade. If it was a black man who did this, he would have had a lynch mob. Like, he would have been so scrutinized. Like, any type of minority that would have done this would have been hung by their balls,
Done.
so to speak. Done. Like, the fact that he's a white man is the reason why this whole thing was created. Oh, he's got a dog, and this is the breed of the dog, and these are his
A golden
accomplishments,
retriever.
and blah blah blah. Like, so what? Did you committed a crime that's punishable by law? Who cares what you did
$500,000.
yesterday? What you did that day, sir, was the crime. Period.
Can I add this to the whole story? Honestly, and this is just how the story was written, and I wasn't gonna bring race into it, or even though it's kind of obvious.
This is America.
You know, kind of obvious. But the 11-year-old girl was a black girl. So, but
Really?
Go figure.
anyway,
Go figure.
Oh no.
But like I said,
about-
he's
what do
scot
What
free.
do you
He
think
got
about
away
that?
scot free.
Because I'm not gonna just not say that, because what the hell? What the hell?
So
No, you messed up.
So you don't
And you had a court date and walked. What?
He was
For
found
assaulting a child in
innocent,
public?
an 11-year-old girl.
A 11-year-old black girl at that.
the
And you're a
family
white guy, so your backstory matters. It supersedes the crime you committed. No.
They worked so hard to make him look so sweet and innocent, and they even included, oh, he volunteers with kids, and we spoke with the company where he volunteers. Anyway, oh my gosh, no. That's not what this topic is. This topic is just a question of
You're
should
right,
people-
because we weren't there. We don't know what happened. So
Yeah.
we can move along.
I
Wait,
think they can appeal it, right? Because even though some judges, they're human, and lawyers and everybody can be cricket that's doing anything in some way, you don't know it until they do it. Then I don't know, because it might not work, they might not want to because what just happened. So I was just saying, like, anybody with a case, you can try to appeal it since they did wrong, or do a GoFundMe and all that kind of stuff.
Who
to
is
get-
his attorney? If I ever
That's
get in
it.
trouble, I need that guy or that person to like represent me for real. Even though I try to avoid trouble at all costs, but doggone it.
Mhm.
That's brilliance, to create a backstory that makes you look like you're just the most superior citizen. Even after you hit an 11-year-old child.
upstanding
Right.
citizen who volunteers
right.
with children. But and I'll say this to the point of the whole crooked thing. So unfortunately, that's also another thing that it comes down to something that's subjective, because chances are when he heard the story, the judge, he genuinely felt that, and he wasn't like, I'm going to be crooked and set this man free, even though I know he's guilty. No, the judge might have genuinely just been like, no, this person didn't do anything wrong.
Hey,
And, oh, well, that's where the subjective part comes in. And that's where the question of backstories, when should we have them or not? I don't know.
he don't need it because he still did it, and anybody gonna
Right.
be talked about that did something wrong in some kind of way. But I
Yeah.
was gonna say, even though he didn't go there, something is still gonna happen to him, like for whatever a person did. And since he was in the news, or even not in the news, but like I mean in the news where a lot of people hear what somebody did, something's still gonna happen to him, because like how they say, if you're in the jail but you're not on the news, I guess I don't know how, but like other criminals in there, they hear from somebody what you did. So that's the same with the news, how I see the news. You're out there, someone knows you, they're gonna hear it, and maybe some people wait and try to jump you or something. Something's gonna happen to them. Be like, that's that dude who did
Right.
that or something.
Especially if justice was not served. Like, I don't care if you put your hands on my child, I don't care what type of background you come from.
But he was walking a golden lab. Doesn't that mean anything to you? Don't you have
You know
a
what?
heart for his
I'm an animal
volunteer
lover.
work?
I love animals. And, like I board them for people that go on vacation. But, if I went out somewhere and slapped somebody's kid, nobody would give a damn about that.
About your animal boarding. Well,
No.
I board these animals with love.
And I volunteer and I do this and I do that. But I just assaulted someone's child. Bad
That's
decision,
another
bro.
thing.
I don't know, like
A different thing.
it is what it is. You broke the law.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's everything you said, girl. He got off free because how people are with the system. They're like, cricket.
Mm-hmm.
They're the prejudice thing.
That was a discussion topic before about that. About, how people who tend to be more attractive, how the law is more, and it's not just attractive people. It's not just people who are easy on the eyes. It's mostly white people, but his background probably played a part in, the type of punishment he got for not ever being in trouble before. I think that definitely plays a part in the decision a judge would make, which of course, but that's
he knows
like
a lawyer.
Like to assault someone is a blatant. Maybe you need anger management or something. Yeah. I don't know, but you can't just go around hitting people's children. I don't care. Talk to their mama or whoever parent they came with. Like, hey, your child is doing this and doing that, whatever. Don't put your hands on somebody's child. You're not part of the village, are you?
No, because the crazy thing that everybody knows, that's way different, because if another kid can't really do that with them like people do, like they should, and they get into it, how is he gonna not only do it, and he's a bigger person, and then go free? That's another thing. All three of those things, like go free and do what he did, and then not even another kid can even hit your own, kid. But yeah, that's like, I don't know, favoritism.
I fight kids over mine. And their parents. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just serious. Over mine, you gonna get these.
Right. So
you
we'll
gonna get
wrap
these
up
hands.
live on that note.
Yes, right. Judge, I did it. It was me.
A boot in her booty.
No, I'm just
a boot in her booty.
I'm a nut. I'm just playing.
Yeah, you're so crazy.
Now it's time for the Ace Metaphor cards. And we'll stop the